Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. We're excited to have you here with us today as we explore amazing and incredible leech farming in China. So sit back, relax, and let's get started.
大家看一下，这就是我们收上来的水质啊，它到最后能长到20克啊。全部浪。
A leech farm is a type of aquaculture facility that specializes in the breeding and cultivation of leeches for medical and commercial purposes. In China, leech farming has a long history and is still practiced today as a traditional form of medicine and is a source of income for many farmers. Leech farming is an emerging industry in China that has gained significant attention in recent years due to its potential health benefits and economic opportunities. Leeches have been used for medicinal purposes for centuries, and traditional Chinese medicine (TCM) has long recognized their therapeutic benefits. Leech farming is the practice of breeding and raising leeches in a controlled environment for their medical use. The practice of using leeches for medicinal purposes dates back thousands of years in China. Leeches were believed to have healing properties and were used to treat a wide range of ailments, including headaches, fevers, and even mental illness. In traditional Chinese medicine, leeches were used to balance the body's energy, or qi, and to improve blood circulation. Today, leech farming in China is primarily focused on the production of Hirudo medicinalis, a species of leech that is widely used in the medical industry. These leeches are used in a variety of medical procedures, including plastic surgery, reconstructive surgery, and limb reattachment surgery. They are also used to treat conditions such as arthritis and varicose veins. Leech farming requires specific equipment and materials to ensure the proper growth and development of the leeches. The main requirements include 1. Leech tanks. Leeches require a highly oxygenated environment with clean water to thrive. Leech tanks are specially designed to provide the necessary conditions for the leeches. The tanks are made of plastic or fiberglass and can hold up to 1,000 leeches depending on the size. 2. Water filtration system. Leeches are sensitive to water conditions, and any impurities can be harmful to their health. A water filtration system is essential to ensure the water remains clean and oxygenated for the leeches. 3. Netting. Nets are used to separate different sizes of leeches as they grow. The larger leeches can consume the smaller ones, so it is important to keep them separated based on size to avoid cannibalism. 4. Feed. Leeches will feed on river snails and freshwater mussels, as well as on other small aquatic animals like insects, fish, and amphibians. Leeches are carnivorous and require live or fresh animal blood to survive. In leech farming, usually pig or cow blood is used as the feed for the leeches. Other sources of food such as fish or chicken blood are not recommended as they may contain harmful bacteria. 5. Tools. Various tools are needed for feeding, transferring, and harvesting the leeches. These include tubes, tweezers, and suction devices. The process of leech farming involves 4 main stages: breeding, hatching, raising, and harvesting. 1. Breeding. The breeding process involves selecting healthy and mature leeches of different sexes and placing them in breeding tanks. The water in the breeding tanks is gradually heated to promote mating. After mating, the leeches are separated, and the females are checked regularly for the presence of egg sacs. In China, leech breeding is often done in wet soil or mud. The leeches are kept in shallow ponds or tanks filled with moist soil or mud, which provides them with the necessary moisture and substrate for feeding, growth, and reproduction. The breeding process usually involves creating conducive conditions for the leeches to lay their eggs and hatch into juvenile leeches, which are then separated and reared until they reach maturity. The moist soil or mud also helps to replicate the natural aquatic habitat of the leeches, which is typically found in freshwater bodies such as swamps, ponds, and rivers. The time it takes for a leech to lay eggs and for the eggs to hatch depends on various factors, such as the species of leech, age, and environmental conditions. Typically, female leeches reach sexual maturity between 6 months to 1 year old and can lay eggs several times a year. After laying the eggs, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks on average for the embryos to develop inside the eggs and hatch into juvenile leeches, known as leechlings. However, the time required for the eggs to hatch can vary depending on environmental factors such as temperature, humidity, and food availability. If the environmental conditions are ideal, the eggs may hatch earlier, and the juvenile leeches will grow faster. 2. Hatching. The egg sacs are usually removed from the females and placed in a separate hatching tank where they can be monitored closely. The hatching tank needs to be kept clean and free from any contaminants. 3. Raising. Once the eggs hatch, the baby leeches need to be fed and raised in a controlled environment. The leech tanks need to be cleaned regularly, and the water temperature and oxygen levels need to be monitored closely. Leech larvae typically feed on the blood of their hosts. They attach themselves to an animal and suck blood until they are fully developed and can detach themselves. Some types of leech larvae may also feed on small aquatic creatures such as snails and insects. Adult leeches will feed on river snails and freshwater mussels, as well as on other small aquatic animals like insects, fish, and amphibians. Leeches are considered to be generalist predators and will feed on a variety of prey items depending on their size and availability. 4. Harvesting. Harvesting is the final stage of leech farming. The leeches are typically harvested when they reach the desired size, which is usually between 4 to 7 centimeters long for Hirudo nipponia and 10 to 15 centimeters long for Hirudo medicinalis. The leeches are moved to a separate tank and starved for several weeks before being harvested so that their digestive system is empty. Harvesting leeches requires a delicate touch as they are sensitive to touch and can be easily injured. Harvest the leeches is typically done by draining the water from the ponds and manually collecting the leeches. After harvesting, the leeches are cleaned and sorted according to size and species. This may involve rinsing the leeches in fresh water and removing any debris or other contaminants. Once the leeches have been cleaned and sorted, they are packaged for sale or export. In China, leeches are often sold live, either for use in traditional medicine or as fishing bait. Why Chinese farmer dry leeches? Chinese farmers dry leeches to use them for medicinal purposes. Dried leeches are believed to have a longer shelf life and stronger therapeutic properties compared to fresh leeches. They are used in traditional Chinese medicine to improve blood circulation and treat various ailments such as arthritis, headaches, and skin ulcers. Dried leeches are also used in cosmetic products such as facial creams and lotions. Additionally, dried leeches are easier to store and transport compared to fresh ones. It's worth noting that leech farming is a specialized practice that requires knowledge of the biology and behavior of the leeches being farmed, as well as expertise in water quality management and other aspects of aquaculture. Do Chinese people eat leeches? Yes, some Chinese people do eat leeches. In Chinese traditional medicine, leeches are believed to have therapeutic properties and are used to treat various ailments such as high blood pressure and arthritis. They are also used as a delicacy in some parts of China, where they are often stir-fried or used as a filling for dumplings or buns. However, it is important to note that not all Chinese people eat leeches, and it is not a common dish in most regions. While it is possible for leeches to be consumed by people, it is not a common practice and is generally not recommended. In some cultures, leeches are used in traditional medicine for their blood-sucking properties. However, it is important to note that consuming leeches can be dangerous as they can carry harmful bacteria and viruses that can cause infection or illness. Medicinal leeches are regulated as medical devices and are not intended for human consumption. In fact, they are raised and prepared specifically for use in controlled medical environments under the supervision of trained professionals. It is important to avoid consuming any wild-caught leeches as they may contain harmful substances or toxins. It is also important to seek professional medical help if you experience any negative symptoms after coming into contact with leeches or their environment. In summary, leech farming has a long history in China and is a thriving industry today. The process of leech farming involves closely managing the breeding, hatching, raising, and harvesting of leeches. However, there are many challenges to the industry, such as water quality control, disease management, feeding management, climate control, and labor-intensive work. Several future opportunities for leech farming exist, including the development of new technologies in new markets. With careful management and investment in innovation, leech farming in China could be a significant contributor to traditional medicine and a profitable business for the farmers. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your time and attention. Please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like, comment and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. We look forward to seeing you again soon.